What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. As you can see on the screen here, we are at the Splash Landings Hotel. Now today, I did find out, or the other day, I found out on Google Earth, if you go into Street View at Alton Towers and pretty much anywhere, it is very different to the actual thing you see today. So, for a little example, I will go over here and click here next to Wicker Man. Now if I click on, let's say back here, and we take a look here, you will see that this is extremely different to what we would actually see at Alton Towers today. Now obviously, if you see in the background there, that is the flume, not Wicker Man. If you didn't know, Wicker Man is obviously situated where the flume once was. There's no Wicker Man theme anywhere, and I thought this could be a really good video idea, just exploring the old Alton Towers. So today we're just going to have a little bit of an explore and just see what happens. So we're starting off at the Splash Landings Hotel, so if we move down here and click on the pathway, I don't really think much else has changed. Let's have a look. So, obviously, if you don't know what Splash Landings Hotel and Water Park is, obviously it's in the name. It has a water park and is also, obviously, a hotel. I have been in the water park and I do rate it as a really good water park. And, it's definitely really, really enjoyable. So, if you ever gone to Alton Towers and you feel like you want to do something else, definitely do this. It's a very, very unique and interesting thing to do. That's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to have a look around. So, not really much has changed with Splash Landings, really. So, if we move out of Splash Landings now and move over to the monorail station, we can see that on the street view, this probably hasn't changed much. I can remember this when I was more like little, and I can remember it had this sort of stylistic design. So I don't really think there's anything changed here. So if we move up through here and follow the monorail round, past Nemesis, past all this, past the Runaway Mine Train, and up to here, we will see that this is the Alton Towers gates. So obviously if we move on to Tower Street, I don't think much will change for Tower Street myself. But obviously you can see the paint job on the buildings is very much different. Obviously if you go now, they're a little bit more vibrant colours, which I really, really do enjoy. Obviously walking down, you see the lake in the background there, which is really cool. So a little bit Scarefest theming down there. So as we move out Tower Street, and I think we should go down near Mutiny Bay now. So seeing what rides are still here at this point. So obviously in Mutiny Bay you've got the Sharkbait Reef, Marauders Mayhem and all that pirate stuff, and then you've also got Wickerman in the back. So it looks like Marauders Mayhem's still here. So does the Sharkbait Reef by glancing over here. Yep, we still have the Sharkbait Reef. Another thing I really do recommend at Alton Towers is the Sharkbait Reef. It is very, very much enjoyable. Obviously, if you didn't know, many of the Merlin parks, such as like Chessington and that, they do have these free walk-in experiences. Obviously they own Sea Life, so they're able to do this sort of stuff. As you can see there, it's Sea Life. So this little walk-through is a nice little thing, and it's generally enjoyable if it's like raining or it's bad weather. I very, 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 very recommend it. So we got some sort of theming piece up there for Burger King, which is pretty cool. Themed to pirates, and obviously we did see the flume earlier. So if I sort of maybe tap here, we might be able to see the flume a little bit better. Yep, there we go. So obviously, if you didn't know, Alton Towers flume was replaced by Wicker Man. It had quite a generic sort of theme. Obviously, if I can remember when I was little, I'm pretty sure the boats were like bathtubs or something. Very similar sort of theme to Bubble Works in a way, but just outdoors. Obviously, this is where Wickerman's is now. And to be quite honest, I'm not too sad that it's gone. I mean, like I said, I can't really remember riding it, but it was a decent log flume from what I can remember. But obviously, we've got much, much better riding than now. So as you can see, they are sort of like bathtubs sort of things, which are really interesting. So if we now exit out of Mutiny Bay and make our way down to this way, we can see we've got Nemesis and Galactica here. I believe we have Ripsaw. If it's here, we should have Ripsaw. I'm hoping we have Ripsaw. See if I can find it. This may take a little while. So if I move further along here, actually. So obviously, if you didn't know much about Forbidden Valley, it did have Ripsaw. If you go down to Alton Towers today, you do find that Ripsaw has been taken out, and the stage it once sat on is now a little sort of entertainment booth. They have like games and stuff. In my opinion, I feel like they should have kept Ripsaw where it was. Obviously, Ripsaw is a lot better, in my opinion, than what they have there today. But obviously, for manufacturing reasons and stuff, they did have to get rid of Ripsaw, unfortunately. If you didn't know what Ripsaw was, it was a sort of something like it's really hard to explain. It's something like the Ramsay's Revenge at Chessington. It was one of them sort of rides, and it's sat just in Forbidden Valley here somewhere. Can't find the exact place, but it's over in the tree line this way somewhere. Oh, hang on, did I just catch a glimpse of it there? Indeed I did. So here is Ripsaw. So this is, like I said, it looks much like Ramsay's Revenge at Chessington. So yeah, I've never really went on Ripsaw. Like I said, I've only just started going back to Alton Towers annually. So when I was little, I wasn't really tall enough to go on these rides. But there is Ripsaw there. So if we move down towards Galactica, where Galactica is now, obviously many of you know that Galactica obviously was rethemed from Air, and that is very, very evident if we click down here. Hoping it don't load one of the personal views. Yeah, it does. Sorry about that, guys. So if I try and load down a little bit further back, it should activate the street view. Right, okay, so as you can see here, it has the old Air logo on the plating, so obviously it's much different. The rocks have been painted up for Galactica. Obviously, much this theming is exactly the same place it is back then, but I just had to repaint and rescheme. Obviously, its track looks a lot lighter in colour. Obviously, now it's more dark blue. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you had the theming element around here somewhere for Galactica, but yeah, it's not much has changed really for the actual ride. Like I said, it's more been repainted and rethemed. So the most interesting part of Forbidden Valley, in my opinion, is over here. Now, many of you probably think this is Air's station, and you are very much correct, except it is also the shop. Now, the shop for Air was extremely large, and if we go and stand next to it here, we can see that it is very, very familiar. Now, if anyone's been down to Alton Towers recently in the last couple of years, you will know that this building may ring a very big bell. Now, this building here, this Air shop, as it says up there, is now the roller coaster restaurant. Now, obviously, as you can see at its size inside there, all of that was taken out. They have a smaller shop for Galactica now, and they turn this into roller coaster. Basically, your food comes down on these tracks and does loops and stuff. It's a really cool concept. They also have a really good show in there, but that's another video for another day. So if we move out here and we head over to Nemesis, I don't think much would have changed at Nemesis. If we come and have a look here. Okay, so Nemesis basically, Nemesis got quite a nice paint job there. Don't know whether it's because I haven't been there in a while, but it does look like Nemesis's paint is a lot different. It looks a lot brighter and darker in the same way. That's really odd. If it really wants to change with that, I don't want to stay in the same area that hasn't really had much change. Obviously, because long the video out way too long, and you guys will get bored. Quite frankly, let's take a look near the Octonauts roller coaster. That sounds really weird. But if I'm correct, indeed. Now, many children that are probably my age and did visit back then, you can see that the Octonauts roller coaster has a similar layout, but it is actually in fact a dragon. Now, this used to be the old kids area before CBeebies Land took it over, so we're going to have a little explore for that. Most of the rides in here are the same. They're just obviously like rethemed to be CBeebies, which I have no problem with. Obviously, things do get dated and new things come in, so I'm really not too distressed on it being changed, and I feel like a lot more children will enjoy it if it's this theme. So you can see Towers Lawn here. You can see the legendary the treetop ride. I used to love that when I was a kid. And also we have many other attractions that are themed to all the CBeebies Land rides. There was also a boat ride here that was themed to like a farm. That is now the boat ride for In the Night Garden. And also this tractor ride here, I do believe, is the Postman Pat ride that we see here today. Don't ask how I know quite a bit about CBeebies Land. Obviously, see a lot of people at Theme Park Worldwide walk around here. But yeah, it does have a nice sort of woodland feel. I feel like it does blend in a little bit more. But like I said, kids probably do change their minds. They do like different things as time goes on. So I feel like this was a really good investment for the park. So if we move out of the way here, so we've got the legendary lake here. So if we can, I might actually try and get a street view here. Yeah, it stands on the edge of the lake. Now, I don't think much would change for the towers at this point. I believe Hex is still here. Obviously, if you don't know what towers are, obviously they would have changed quite a bit throughout the course of its early days. But back in this sort of days, I don't think it would have changed from now. Obviously, you've got the lake, you've got blah, blah, yada, yada, yada. So they've got all that sort of stuff there. So if we move over down into X Sector now, so let's head over to the beginning of X Sector. And let's take a look at where the Smiler used to be. So if I'm correct, that's it, X Sector sign is very much the same. If we move around here, if I'm correct, in this time period, we should see the black hole, possibly. If we look very... Yep, there we go. Right. So, guys, if you don't know what black hole was, it's very interesting ride this was. It was a ride, sort of indoor coaster, much like X was at Fort Park, not Alton Towers. And was another iconic thing. This is also in the sort of roller coaster restaurant projection show. Obviously, they still value all these rides, and they don't want them to get forgotten. So as you can see, this looks like when it was currently closed. So this is when Black Hole was closed, when they were planning Smiler to be implemented in. So let's move down here through X Sector. Obviously, Oblivion wouldn't have changed too much, I don't think. All the theme is basically the same. So we've got Enterprise back here, and I do believe that's Submission in operation there, possibly. That's really interesting. So if you look back there, there's Enterprise, there's Submission. So the main big change for X Sector is the black hole, which is very interesting. Obviously, Smiler sits here at the moment. You can see how much they did dig out for Smiler. I reckon this is about a year, possibly a couple of years before Smiler was actually, trying to get into development and getting built. Otherwise, obviously, we'd see the construction of it. It would be really cool if, when I was doing this, we did see the construction of an old ride, but we can only go off what Google Maps has for us. So if we exit out of here, move out of X Sector, and let's try and move to the back of the towers. So let's go try and visit Hex, the Legend of the Towers. Now, if you don't know what Hex is, it is a dark ride. It is the Vekoma Madhouse, much like what we have at Legoland at the moment with the Monster Party House thing. I haven't visited Legoland in a while. I might plan a visit there very, very soon. But it's a very, very similar attraction with a bit more of a darker theme, I would say. Obviously, Hex is about a folklore, about the Chained Oak in Alton Village, which you can actually visit. If any of you have seen Jack Siltstone's video, he does visit this tree. Apparently, it does have a very creepy feel. But that is basically what this ride entails. It is obviously about a witch and someone who used to live in the towers. There was a very technical name, I can't exactly remember. But definitely check out the backstory of this ride, because it does really interest me. So technically, it should interest you if you guys like my channel. So if we move out of here, go past Hex. Now this could be a very big, very, very big change here. Now, oh wow, yeah. So if you don't know, this is Ogland. Now Ogland was basically used to be Dark Forest. Now this was before obviously 13 was implemented. I believe this is back when Corkscrew was still here, which is interesting. Obviously this was when Thunder Rock Rally was a thing. So if you don't know, when Rita was implemented, it did keep the general sort of like prehistoric theme, sort of like the Flintstones and stuff like that. And yeah, you just have Rita in the background there. Now you'd think it would stick out like a sore thumb a bit, but to be quite honest, it does kind of fit. Let me try and see if we can get a street view near enough. So let's try and stand at the end here. We'll see. So I can't really see Corkscrew, so this could be when Corkscrew was deconstructed, possibly, before anything was built. This is really interesting. I'm really engaged in this. So obviously we've got a giant dinosaur head here. So I don't reckon we'll be able to see Corkscrew today. I do believe it could be around here. I get so lost with Old Alton Towers because I haven't visited there in ages, and I didn't really visit here at this point in time. So that is basically the Dark Forest or Ogland. It's unfortunate we couldn't see Corkscrew there. I'm not going to linger too much to try and find it. I do believe that is the end, guys. Hope you did enjoy. If you do want me to do this for other theme parks such as Thorpe Park and that, I will gladly do it. I did really enjoy making this video. I could also do it for Legoland and stuff. Like I said, it's very interesting looking at how these parks looked very, very differently in the past. And I think this is really, really, really cool. So, yeah, without further ado, guys, I shall see you later.